Summer Bridge program is a transitional program for our incoming freshmen. One of the goals in our academic action plan is freshman success. And what we know to be true is that the freshman year is very pivotal in the school career of a child. We all remember our first year. First day as a freshman, your nerves are a wreck, you're anxious, you don't know where to go, you're worried about how you fit in. So allowing them the chance to come in, meet their other peers, and get an understanding of what's expected of them. They can walk the building, they understand the rules and regulations of school, and just be comfortable before they come into school.
I love how outgoing the teachers are with helping me, even though I didn't ask for it, but they just came over and, helped me when I looked like I was struggling.
I mean, I find it beneficial that you get to meet the staff, see who you gonna walk into every day. You get to see the classrooms, see the building, so you're not just walking in here blinded. And you get to have a little bit of fun before the school year starts. And I think that's beneficial.
One of the things that the students will do is they will take a field trip and ride the RTA bus, because this may be their first experience doing that. And we really understand how difficult it is for students just to get to school. So once they get to school and they've gone through that, we need to make sure that the environment is set for them to learn, for them to be excited and motivated to learn. So we want to make sure that we have supports in place for students. Students understand the expectations. They actually understand the requirements of high school, getting them early exposure and setting them up for success.
When I grow up, I want to be a math teacher or a professor.
When I grow up, I want to be a chef.
I want to be a fire and EMS worker.
When I grow up, I want to be an artist.
When I grow up, I want to be an artist.
I want to be a doctor.
When I grow up, I want to be an actress.
When I grow up, I want to be a scientist.
I want to be a professional ballet dancer.
When I grow up, I want to be a scientist that does chemistry.
When I grow up, I want to be a scientist. I want to make the world a better place.
To help me achieve my dreams, I need my teachers to be able to help me to learn everything I need to learn and then continue to dance.
I look for a teacher that does a good job and makes things harder.
I like a teacher who listens and helps.
To me, a good teacher is kind, respectful. That's about it.
I want a teacher that's kind, that listens, that pay attention.
Kindness, willing to help or tutor them. They will actually help them. Tell them you can't do this, you need to do this or that. Yeah.
I love a teacher that can take their time with me instead of forcing it and rushing it.
Okay, I look for a teacher I expect them to be helpful and teach me good and be my friend.
I want a teacher who helps me understand things more and helps other students.
I would like my teachers to be patient because I'm more of a hands-on.
I'm looking forward to the new school year to learn a lot more things and become smarter.
I just want to tell all teachers and thank them for all the support and making me want to be an actor.
Thank you, teachers, everything you did for me to learn.
Thank you, teacher, for helping me.
I want to thank my art teachers for taking me this far. It's been a long way.
Teachers, I am looking forward to see you next year.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson, for helping me with my class and make sure I get things right and helping me get A's and B's.
Thank you for letting us learn every year all the stuff that we need to go to the next grade.
Thank you, Ms. Simon, for helping me do all my art.
That keep you being good and doing your job and just keep on doing your job and you'll be good.
So the Liddy Summer Camp program is all about STEM-based projects and different modulars. So the kids are faced with different scientific challenges and different topics, focusing on the engineering design program and the scientific method.
3, 2, 1.
It's not like regular school, so that's what makes it engaging. The challenges that the kids have throughout the different modules also make it engaging as well. But it's more so, I'm coming, learning throughout the summer, but I'm having fun throughout the summer as well.
I really like that they let you use your creativity and they kind of make you feel special. They let you kind of do your own thing. They give you instructions, but they let you mostly follow your own path. I like that they give us challenges that I'm able to handle, and I really love designing things.
Mr. C's presentation is good like always. I saw him at the Victoria Theater and his was good too, so he's just doing the same things, and I like his things. I like to see it every time they come here. It's good.
I like that it's fun. You learn a lot of stuff like science, math, reading, and like the science experiment we just did, it was really cool.
Parents or others may think, oh, it's summertime, so learning stops. Learning never stops. So as they continue to come to the program, it's just enriching them and inspiring them to want to be inventors and inspiring them to continue to work with others and collab with others. So I do think that this program should continue to be going. That's why this is my 3rd year coming, because again, I'm having fun too with it.
Today is just an example of what the conclusion looks like. The beginning of the journey in Dayton Public Schools starts in preschool, and we can take you from preschool all the way to this space here. This is a wonderful place to have your kids have confidence and faith in us that when it ends, it'll end with a positive note, like what you see on signing day with kids going on to do some great things. Purpose is to create energy and excitement around what kids are going to do next, to acknowledge whether or not they're going to be entrepreneurs, military, college, or if it's just going to go straight into the workforce. So it's to acknowledge that, hey, my time has come and I want to tell the world what I'm going to do. And to see kids signing to say this is where I'm going to finish the rest of my life or these are my goals, it's really important for us to come together and rally around kids.
I see it as a big achievement and a celebratory thing for us seniors because, it's the turning point into what we're about to go to next in life. So having that being celebrated for us is just definitely a great experience, and I love that for us.
5 of our 7 high schools are new principals. So they get a chance to talk about how important it is to have their first graduating class. As a former high school principal, there's nothing better than graduation. And now my first year as a superintendent, it's going to be really fun to have 7 graduations where you get a chance to say, welcome to the world. This was not your last stop. This is just the beginning. We're still a phone call, email, and text away as you go throughout your adult life. I'm from Dayton, Dayton kid. I'm here as a superintendent, so we're here for you for a lifetime.
Hi everyone, today I'm going to talk to you about bus safety. Every day, thousands of Dayton Public School students ride the bus to and from school, and it's important to know how to stay safe. First things first, make sure to get to your bus stop at least 10 minutes early, and while you're waiting, stand in a safe spot away from the road. Once the bus arrives, go straight to your seat so the bus can start moving again. And remember, while you're on the bus, stay seated and keep the aisles and exits clear. Just like in a classroom, listen to the driver and follow their instructions. This includes no foul language, no sticking your arms or head out the windows, and no eating or drinking on the bus. Lastly, make sure you only get off the bus at your assigned stop and be sure to walk home safely. Let's all work together to follow these rules and keep our bus rides safe for everyone. Thanks for listening, and stay safe, DPS.
Tight ends right next to them. DBs right here next to them. Hey, everybody understand that? Let's go. Get to work. Just get to work. Hey, get a break. Hey, hard work on three. Hard work on me. Hard work on three. 1, 2, 3. Hard. Get out of here. Let's get out of here.
Hi, my name is Robin Patterson, and I'm a senior at Ponin CTC, and I'm here at Wright Brothers to do a student spotlight with Raven. Dalia Horrendez, who goes by Raven, is a 7th grader student at Wright Brothers Middle School. She is the proud middle child of a Cuban mother and an American father. She one day wants to be a therapist for children who have experienced trauma and wants to create a shelter for people who need a safe space to cope with trauma. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
My name is Talia, but I go by Raven mostly. I'm 12. I am Cuban, Mexican, and American. My mom's Cuban, my dad's Mexican. My first language is Spanish, but I mostly use English more.
When did you learn that you could speak different languages?
Probably like around 3rd, 2nd grade, when I went to my first English school, and I started picking up on the languages.
You went to a DPS elementary school?
Yes, I went to Roosevelt Elementary for 2nd grade through 6th.
Did you like that school?
It was really cool.
You got any shout outs over there?
Mr. Sampson and Miss Simpkins, the principals, they are amazing.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be a therapist so I could help the people that the kids that went through the things that I have gone through.
What got you interested in wanting to be a therapist?
I really want to help kids or anyone who's struggling with mental health or anything like that.
Who's your favorite teacher here?
My business teacher, my first period teacher, Miss Nowalk. She's really nice. She's really fun. She's not strict. Well, she is on some occasions when it's necessary.
What's your favorite part of the school day?
Probably choir, because I get to see some of my friends.
Who's your choir teacher?
Mr. Johnson.
Why do you like your school?
I really like it because the principals are nice, the kids are nice, most of the teachers are nice, and it has a really positive environment.
Do you have a message for students who may be watching right now?
Stay in school, don't be bad, don't get into fights. don't be messy, just be a good person overall.
How does it feel to be chosen as the student spotlight?
It's really like surprising because like my parents are always like, oh, we want you to do good in life. And I'm always like, okay, whatever, I guess.
How do you think your parents are going to feel when they see this video?
I think they might feel proud.
So today we're having an all-city arts festival, and we have lots of music today. We have combined all of our schools together to make music performances all day today. We have choirs, we have bands, we have orchestras, and we're all here to celebrate music in Dayton Public Schools. A lot of these students come from schools where maybe their ensemble, their band, or their choir is really, really small. And so it's scary to come out and perform in front of people anyway. And especially when you're used to just a little small group in your classroom, but they've been doing a great job. I think it's a great experience for them because we all know as adults that we have to go and do some things that maybe aren't in our comfort zones, but with this group of people, their peers, they feel a little bit safer, and hopefully after this experience, it'll kind of feed a fire and they'll want to do it more and more.
Really, music can tap into that creativity that a lot of kids just naturally have, but seems to dissipate often as they get older. So we're tapping into that creativity, giving them that self-expression. So for a lot of our kids, this is their first opportunity to get up in front of people, especially in a venue this big, seeing that big smiles on their faces, especially at the end when they're coming off the stage, the excitement. And you know, this is a good opportunity for them to perform and show off for their families, their teachers, their classmates, and greater Dayton community. I think Dayton Public Schools has a huge amount of talent in our district, and we're happy to be here showing that off today.
See, I told you.
Dr. Miller, are you the presenter today?
Okay. Serious.
I haven't seen you in action in a while.
I'm
Put in that
serious.
request. I put in that request too.
Yes.
What's up, Dr. Goodwine?
What's up, man?
Call it.
Why are you looking at me like that, man? I'm just saying. I've always looked at that. Hey, Dr. Tom. Exactly, right?
It's fragile?
I'm like, oh, you a baby.
Oh, you saw the crossing.
I was like, son, don't be eyeballing me like that. You're not old enough yet. Wait, I said, it's a woman for that?
Hey, Doc.
How you doing, Trey?
Hey,
How are you? You be out here like, do you know some of the things you're supposed to know?
Oh, my gosh.
I don't like Mr. Goodbar though, but I will take this one. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll switch with you then. There you go.
Okay, you'll make sure they're not
Dr.
ashy.
Davis is in the house. Did you say ashy? Hey, good morning. Good afternoon.
I see you, Dr. Davis. I got some socks on, but if I didn't have these socks on, I wouldn't need it. I wouldn't need it. I noticed this morning at the gym, it's a struggle. It's a struggle. Let me hurry and get these socks on.
Hey man, we gotta follow up on our stuff. You remember when we started? We got something right there. Yeah. All these people sitting up here and ain't none of them told you. That ain't even right.
Thank you. Ms. Minor, when does the Atlanta trip start?
I thought they were supposed to come to the meeting.
What's today, Tuesday?
I don't think you got set up.
Oh, so you Wednesday,
Let's
Thursday,
follow
Friday?
this kid after this. Can we get going? Yeah, go ahead. Let's go.
Let's roll. You up, baby? Yes. How you doing, Karen?
I'm good,
Good. You know you good, Miss Karen? I don't care if you good or not. Proper preparation. Good afternoon. I'd like to call this October 22nd special board meeting to order. Madam Treasurer, may we have a roll call?
President Smith,
Present.
Ms. Week,
Present.
Dr. Goodwin,
Here.
Dr. Bailey,
Here.
Mr. Lacey,
Mr. Lacey will be joining us shortly.
Mr. Walker,
Present.
Ms. Reiner,
As an excused absence.
5 present.
All right. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Bailey and I was like, hey, come on.
Yeah, come on, community. All right. I see now, I don't see any bargaining units, and Madam Treasurer, we do not have anybody from the public to speak, do we?
No.
Okay. Let's always make sure we open that up. Dr. Lawrence, you have a quick presentation, I see.
Very quick, President Smith. I just wanted to take the chance to let the general public know that we will be out for Election Day and that we do have curriculum assigned for that day and schoolwork for the students. So I'd like for parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles to help us follow through on their assignments for Tuesday voting day. And it's really exciting. And Dr. Kurtz Miller is here from curriculum to explain all the 12 modules, well, not all 12, make it quick, and the overview for what we're going to be doing on voting day. We're going to be supporting democracy.
Board President Smith, Board Vice President Wick, Superintendent Dr. Lawrence, Treasurer Abraha, board members and distinguished guests, good afternoon. I'm Dr. Kurtz Miller, and I'm the Senior Curriculum Coordinator for Science Grades 7 to 12, and I will be representing the Curriculum Department to give you a district writing update. Next slide, please. Okay, this is our agenda in this brief presentation. Give you a moment to look over the agenda. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so I will be discussing writing, including the writing that students will be engaged in from home on Election Day. This work is important because it aligns with a district priority area, writing across the curriculum in all subject areas. It's a DPS focus area. Next slide. So our 5 C's. Okay, upcoming Professional Development Day for the school district on Monday, October 28th. There's a number of writing professional development sessions which are taking place. This is not every single one of them. All ELA trainings will involve writing. There's writing across the content areas, multiple sessions being offered, writing in math, analyzing student work, including student writing in science and middle grades, high school social studies, as well as high school science. Other sessions, the writing is embedded within the sessions. Okay, since students will not be present, physically present on Election Day, principals have been contacted as well as teachers. They have been encouraged to prepare students and scaffold them to engage in writing to reflect on our great democracy and our right to vote here in the United States. So what you see here is the correspondence which went out to principals as well as teachers, and you can see in this document it's linked to the 12 writing prompts for each grade level. So each member of our team wrote a prompt, and we'll take a look at 3 examples here. If you could click on the voting elections writing prompts, this will load up and we can see all of them together. Okay, if you go back, That was originally hyperlinked if you click on the voting and elections writing prompt text. Okay, so just to describe the writing prompts, each one has some sort of background, a question or a series of questions which is focused on our rights to vote and practice democracy. And there's also a rubric attached for each one. The rubric is aligned to the Ohio State test writing rubrics for the appropriate grade levels. And so there's a link directly to the Ohio State test holistic rubric. And in most cases, that writing rubric has been condensed so it's more accessible for teachers and students. So I apologize, that must not have been hyperlinked. Okay, next slide. Okay, so the ongoing work with the curriculum department involves providing strategies to help encourage and to help support students writing in the classroom. Our school district improvement process, of course, is the PLCs. And so the PLC solution tree has ongoing work with supporting writing in all the content areas. And so you can see 2 books which folks in the curriculum department have read. It's a writing in the science area as well as writing in social studies. And so we're training teachers, continue to train teachers with pre-reading writing strategies, during reading writing strategies, and post-reading writing strategies. Some of those involves graphic organizers, modeling writing, and this leads to the next slide, rubrics. Okay, so as you're moving around classrooms throughout the school district, especially at the younger and the middle grades, you may look around the classroom and see, number 1, word walls. 2, you may also see exemplar writing samples. We're encouraging teachers to post those writing samples so students can see what high-quality written work looks like. In the first picture, in the upper left-hand corner, you can see an elementary exemplar hanging on a wall. On the right-hand side, some people think, well, you can't write in a math classroom. You certainly can write in a math classroom. You can explain your problem-solving steps. You can predict mathematical relationships. There's a lot of things you can do. That's the exemplar from a math classroom. Other things you may also see would be, of course, learning targets. We're encouraging teachers to do timely feedback and also PLCs and BLTs to review student exemplars. Next slide, please. Okay, so here's a reflection. Imagine the amount of student growth and learning we would have when writing happens in every classroom every day. Writing doesn't have to be a huge essay. Writing can be short, it can be ongoing, and it can happen in every classroom and every day. And I think that concludes the presentation.
Thank
Are there
you.
any questions?
Appreciate you for coming out. Open it up to the board if there are any questions. Ms. Wick?
I would love to hear one of the prompts. I know we couldn't bring them up, but just one.
Sure.
Just one.
Sure.
What is
I will get something down
Okay.
during the meeting. I apologize that
Thank you.
I originally had an
Yeah, no
hyperlink.
worries, but I would love to see that. Thank
Sure.
you. Appreciate that. Appreciate the effort. It's going to be fun.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Dr. Goodwin?
Yes, I just had a quick, so this is happening on election day for them to work on themselves. Is this being offered as like extra credit or something, or is it required?
No, it's a learning at home. It's an expected exercise. We're expecting teachers to, continue practicing writing before election day to prepare the students to do this independently using the gradual release model, which is our instructional model here at Dayton Public Schools. I do, right? The teacher models the writing. We model this together and do this together. And the final part is you do, the students will do. That final part, the students will be doing independently on their own at home on election day.
Okay. I think it's a good concept. I'm kind of interested in the practicality of it, of students working on their own, like how many actually do it, and we see that when they come back on that one. So if I could just have the data on what comes in on that piece, I would be interested in that.
Sure.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none. Appreciate you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank
Have
you.
a good day.
You too. All right, moving right along.
President Smith, ready to go?
Yes, sir.
I recommend the approval of the 48-hour waiver to present the superintendent's personnel agenda as listed in items 4B and 4G.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and second. Are there any questions?
Dr. Lawrence, they said to cut your mic on.
Thank you so much.
All right, any questions? Seeing none, may we have a vote?
President Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Wick,
Yes.
Dr. Goodwin,
Yes.
Dr. Bailey,
Yes.
Mr. Lacy,
Yes.
Mr. Walker,
Yes.
6 yeses.
Dr. Lawrence.
I recommend the approval of the following administrative appointments.
So moved. Second.
Been moved and second. Any questions?
President Smith, can I pull item 8, 8.3 and 8.4 until after executive session?
Are there any other questions?
What did he say?
He wants to pull 3 and 4 to after exec. I would like to pull item A1 and request that we just had a exit interview with him as a board. And if we could have it, like, pull it into the November meeting.
So you want to table that one?
Yes, with the, as a group, I would like to talk to him about like him leaving and all that stuff. And just have an extra interview with us as a board. Not because I want to prevent him from being able to do that.
Johnson, I'm asking you, would you want to
Yeah.
motion to table?
Okay,
it
yeah, I
until
motion that we table item 1A1 until the November board meeting.
I'll second it. Any questions on the motion? May we have a vote on that?
This is a vote on the table, right?
To table,
Okay.
correct.
Okay. President Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Wick,
Yes.
Dr. Goodwin,
Yes.
Dr. Bailey,
Yes.
Mr. Lacy,
Yes.
Mr. Walker,
Yes.
6 yeses.
All right. Back to what we have now. We have left A2. Are there any questions on A2? Seeing none, may we have a vote?
President Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Wick,
Yes.
Dr. Goodwin,
Yes.
Dr. Bailey,
Yes.
Mr. Lacy,
Yes.
Mr. Walker,
Yes.
6 yeses.
Dr. Lawrence.
I recommend approval of the following certified appointments.
President Smith, can I motion to take item 4C through 4G together?
You may. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All right. Do we have any questions on that motion?
1 second. Let's go through them each.
I have a few. I'll start. Dr. Jones, if you may come up, sir. I see on E3 and E4. And for that one, just because I've seen it happen before, but I think it stands for me for all of our middle school programs. Like, if you have a situation where, say, the 7th and 8th grade teams end up being combined, what ends up happening there? Because I see right now we have somebody going for 7th grade coach and 8th grade coach. But in multiple years and in multiple schools, I've seen where there isn't a 7th and 8th grade team. Sometimes there's just a 7th and 8th grade combined team. So what would happen in that situation?
There's a combined 7th and 8th grade team. They'll have, a full complement of assistants and everything.
So for my question would be then, would this person just end up getting one of the supplemental payments instead of both? And then at what time do we
I see.
make that note?
Yeah, they'll get one. And I can't remember exactly how deep into the season we get, but I want to say it's 2 weeks. I'll get back to you on that one. But I do know that that individual will receive a supplemental or pay for one team.
And then I also saw online there was a post regarding, I think, nearly all of our girls teams at the middle school level at basketball were seeking coaches. Outside of the social media post, what are some of the things that we're kind of doing to help that? Because I wouldn't want to, go into a space where, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it may have been all of them that were looking for coaches.
So I do believe that Chief Jones works very closely with Dr. Davis in terms of getting positions posted. So not only do we post on social media, we also utilize the Dayton Consortium. We post internally as well. And then word of mouth also.
Dr. Jones, can you talk a little bit louder? It's hard to hear you up here.
Oh, okay. Chief Jones.
buzzing going on.
Probably that
Yeah,
buzzing
it's that out
outside.
there too.
So Chief Jones works very closely with HR to get coaching positions posted. I know that we utilize our internal postings, our software. We also post on the Dayton Consortium, our coaching positions, and then word of mouth also.
And then with the positions, with the middle school athletic director, I know we had a new position, a new person coming in recently with that. Just want to ask if he's, if you can circle back, but getting that assistance that he would need to kind of help fill those as well. Know that that's a vital time for us trying to fill those, and the result ends up being we don't have people doing it at the high school level if they're not doing it at the middle school level. Right. So I would definitely ask if we're doing everything we need to help the gentleman that just started in that position. I know he came in after the school year started, so definitely want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to help him there.
Yeah, Chief Jones meets with him frequently throughout the week just to get him up to speed. Helps him a lot with the work, the recruiting. He also works with a few of the high school ADs as well.
Okay.
If I may, a couple questions.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll start with athletics since you're up there.
Before you go, Dr. Goodwin, I would ask that everyone refresh. And then also, I'm sorry, let the record show that Mr. Lacey joined us at 3:05. My apologies, Dr. Goodwin.
Okay. With the continuing President Smith's conversation regarding recruitment, what efforts are we actually making to recruit actual coaches? Seeing basketball season starts, actually the winter season starts, what are the start dates of those seasons?
I believe basketball starts in 2 weeks officially. I can get the specific date for you. But outside of the postings and actual having conversations with people in the community about coaching, I couldn't comment on what specifically is being done outside of that to recruit coaches.
At the November meeting, can we get just kind of update on our investment? I know we've increased this year where we added actual athletic directors and coordinators at each school, but to see that we still are going into this season, specifically with girls sports having lower field positions, is a little disappointing, knowing the investment that we've made in it. So I'm hopeful that the data will show something different than what I believe to be true at this moment. I will say I will commend the athletic department. There are far less errors or past due dates on here, and the one on here I've already been briefed on, so I do appreciate you guys getting a lot tighter on that one. With regard, so what? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. In addition to, my remainder questions aren't necessarily for you, Dr. Jones, but you can stand there if you like to.
Anybody have any other questions?
I'm not finished.
There's gotta be some questions.
I'm not finished, I'm just saying.
Hey, that was like he was on.
I'm just saying, if he there, I mean, he was looking. Regarding the G, or is it F? The supplemental ones, right? That's the one I'm in. It says F, but I feel like I've clicked on G, and that's what came up. Okay. There are some dates in here. Are these dates because we just approved the MOU last week? Why the date is beyond, it is not, it's some August, I mean, is that what is the rationale for that? Again, I don't believe this is you, but if you want to take a shot at it, sure. So I'm just trying to understand, is it because we just approved the MOUs and those are happening, or
E7?
the August one? It's F, but it's NG, it's supplementals.
This is the dispensing medicine.
Yeah.
It's a few of them.
It's a few of them.
F5.
Just trying to understand why we have past due dates of where we've had, like one is from July, so.
So I may be able to take a stab at that. I do believe that the.
Can you talk louder, man? You got it.
Yeah, I do believe that the positions historically are posted from the date they begin to when they end. And so I think the proration takes place behind the scenes. It just gives you the length of time that supplemental will be paid out. Is that accurate, Dr. Lee?
Cause that's true. We got some issues here, so people, what's the start date of the actual position?
Hi. Hi. In regards to the July date, can't help you with that. That was prior to me coming. But the other ones, we put them on there as the date that they're received. Most of the supplementals, they have been on hold as we were waiting for that MOU to pass. And so you'll see more next for the November agenda with a lot more, and those dates are going to be at the beginning of the year.
Okay. So it is related to the MOU?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we decided
With
to
the exception of the July one. That one you're saying is not related to that.
I'm not saying it's not. I can't speak to that one because the MOU was not in place at that time. It wasn't a discussion, so I don't know why that one would be delayed.
Okay.
I can say that one is not a function of the MOU, and we are prorating because it's more accurate to prorate them instead of just having that gap between when they start and when they end. So now you know exactly when they start and exactly when they end, so that they know exactly when they get paid and when the termination of the contract is.
So both of the two that are on here from July, they're being prorated. Should the date reflect that? Because how do you guys prorate if you don't have a adjusted date? That's kind of my question.
I'm sorry,
Because
I couldn't hear the
it's an
last.
hourly rate, they should submit hours based on that time. So it would be prorated based on the amount of time that they completed it. So if they started doing this work in a particular time, those are the amount of hours that they should submit, which would be checked.
Is there a time frame? Could I submit hours from before this month for you guys in any way, shape, or
If you
form?
have been approved on the agenda for dates before that, so like the supplementals that you're going to see on November's agenda, there will indeed be time that has from the beginning of the year.
Okay.
When you say beginning of the year, is this the academic year or January?
The academic year,
Okay.
we can't cross budgets.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Hold on one more second. Got to keep going through them. Guys, the numbers are, okay, in D, but it says C on there too, the certified appointments. These individuals that are coming in as our new hire paraprofessionals, similar to the conversation that's been going on here about individuals having to have the proper credentials. Are they also aware of that deadline? Because I know we're in October and December.
Absolutely.
All right. And how are we doing with that process?
The list is getting smaller. I can forward you that list. Ms. Mickey is on top of that. She verifies that. She has bi-weekly sessions. The next testing session is on October the 31st. And so getting the people in and helping them pass that parapro exam is critical.
We appreciate you guys doing that. Thank you. All right, that's it for me.
Dr. Davis, did you want to mention that you go out and see the paraprofessionals as well?
We do. We have been going to the schools, assisting them with applying for their permits. Some of them didn't have their permits. Some of them have the credential where they either have the testing results or they have their transcripts, and we go online and help them do that. So face-to-face, going out to the buildings, helping them one-on-one, because we know that it's not practical for them to leave their buildings and come here when we can go out to them and easily assist.
In line with that, I do have a question. I thought that there was something stated before about bus drivers now leading like an online portal or something like that, or is that wrong?
Say that again.
Like, do bus drivers need a ODE portal now, or do they have to do anything that's online, similar to that? Not a testing wise, but like just an online portal.
Bus drivers or bus paras?
Bus pairs.
The way we do bus paras is not exactly the way we should. Bus paras should get a student monitor permit, therefore they would not need the ESEA credential, but for some reason the district has had their bus paras actually get a paraprofessional educational aid permit, which is not needed. If they're just student monitors, they're on the bus and they're not impacting instruction, they should have to get a student monitor permit, not a educational aid permit.
Okay, thank you. My two questions are more so for Ms. Minor. Good afternoon. So first question, elaboration on the evening school teacher position. And the second question is status on the remaining buildings of the instructional leader for the parent-family engagement.
The first question, the evening school teachers, Mound Street has a special program, excuse me.
Is that the 22 plus? Is that the 22 plus or?
Well, they will service our adult learners, 22 plus, but it was designed in response to the number of students at risk of not graduating. And Mound Street, their embrace after we visited Denver City Schools, they came up with the idea of providing after-school tutoring, which is really credit recovery for any student from any high school. So they're servicing Dunbar students, Thurgood students, Belmont, whoever needs the support. So we're excited about that because it's a way to wrap around and help those students stay on track and graduate. And we are still seeking, not all, 100% of the schools have turned in their instructional teacher that's going to support the families, and so we're still soliciting that. And I know Ms. Graham has been working with the principals on making those selections.
Do they have like a deadline that like this is drop
Like,
dead?
we have to turn in by this time. I'm sure she has given a deadline, and I'll find that out.
Okay.
I'm
And if
not sure.
if you or Dr. Lawrence can follow up to how the principals get that in. I know that came
Yeah.
up at our committee meeting. Just want to make sure.
Because
they
we
do.
don't want any of the schools left out, and all the families should get that same service. I agree.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
So Ms. Davis, or Dr. Davis, so we are changing, you said we're doing it wrong. Are we going to change it and do it right? Or do you need a policy change or something like that?
We don't need a policy change. It's just a conversation with transportation as they expire to have them renew and get a student monitor permit instead of an educational aid permit. If there are some who are serving in both roles, in some districts they may have individuals who ride the bus early and then they can do classroom, they would want to maintain it. And so it's just a conversation with transportation.
All right,
Yes,
thank
sir.
you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? I did have one. I know we had Dr. Jones, or we spoke to Chief Jones, I think last week, about some of I want to say a golf coach that hadn't had some paperwork done. I know we have a coach on here. It's only one that.
Cheerleader.
Yep. Do you know if she had been working this year, and two, do you know if all her paperwork came in before she started working?
Thurgood?
Yep.
She has been working all year, and her paperwork came in, I believe, at the end of last week.
So that leads me to another question. In that kind of situation, how are we looking at that pay? Is that a prorated thing, or is that a whole supplemental?
Can I compound your question? Can I just add on to it?
Go ahead.
Was it the individual's fault, or was it a fault on our part?
That individual is coached here in the past and knew what paperwork was required to be able to work with our students.
So it's the individual's fault? That's all I'm asking.
No. I would also say that it was oversight on our part as well.
Okay.
And that,
So we share in it.
Mhm. Shared responsibility. And that individual has been counseled, admonished with the oversight. Actually, there were layers. There were multiple people admonished for that error.
In line with that, so if they start working before things are turned in, at that point, are they considered a volunteer and they're not getting paid like until their stuff is in as a push to get your stuff in, or do we back pay them?
So that's a really good question. I would answer that by saying that if you don't have your pupil activity permit, you should not be around children.
Could I ask, Dr. Davis is in line with what he just, did you hear Mr. Walker's question regarding the payment of individuals? Just,
Yes, ma'am. What is your question for me?
Mr. Walker, can you just say what you just said again?
Yeah, no. So if an individual like athletics, for instance, they come in, they ignore turning things in on time. At that point, are they considered just a volunteer and we're not back paying them for those dates that they've been here? Or do we still back pay them although they?
If someone intentionally did not turn in their paperwork, then they would be considered a volunteer. However, volunteers still need a pupil activity permit in order to be around our students. And so they would not be back paid if they intentionally did not do what they were supposed to do.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
It does.
Yes, sir.
So they just start getting paid once they turn in their stuff?
Once they complete everything and they are cleared to start, yes, sir, then they will receive payment, but not for the time prior to that.
All right, and if it's an error on our side, do we give them back payment, or are we just moving forward that?
For this particular case or in general?
Both.
For this particular case, it was not this individual's fault. That's why she's on there for the full season. There were multiple errors on that part, and the individuals who made those errors have been held accountable. In terms of, in general, we try to avoid that. For example, the season starts on the 25th. There are some individuals who do not have everything in. However, I did tell the athletic department, if they get all their information in before the 25th, that we will put them on the November agenda for the full season. But if they don't, they will not on that November agenda. Their start will be the day after that agenda, if they do not have it in by the 25th.
Okay.
Can I? This is Dr. Davis, not necessarily for you, but in a sense, it seems that athletics continues to have staff that misses like turning things in, and we correct it, but what's the repercussions for like the leadership, and not necessarily the leadership, but just like in general, the same situations just keep occurring with paperwork of coaches, and then on the board side, then we hear like, oh, well, I didn't get paid, but it's you didn't turn in your stuff. Like,
correct. The athletic department has been working very diligently to improve their practices and procedures and policies to make sure that their staff are aware of what their requirements are. In this particular case, as I shared, the athletic director did not do what he was supposed to do, and therefore he was disciplined for that.
Okay.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right, any other questions? wait a moment since we have everything in here. All right, everyone good? Seeing no further questions, thank you, Chief. Thank you, Dr. Jones. May we have a vote?
President Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Wick,
Yes.
Dr. Goodwin,
Yes.
Dr. Bailey,
Yes.
Mr. Lacy,
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
6 yeses.
President Smith, I recommend approval of the following administrative and DSS salary schedules.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and second. Do we have any questions? Where are we at? We are,
6A.
oh, I'm sorry. I thought it got moved. That's why I tried to have it refreshed.
6A.
So we went the 48-hour waiver. Ignore that 5 because it is the
Same thing.
it's the same thing. So we move down to 6. Superintendent recommendations were at 6A.
Okay, making sure.
I have a couple questions.
Yes.
There are positions that we have approved that are not on their salary schedule. So how do we remedy having positions that are not listed on our salary schedule as positions that we're approving? For example, we have a couple people on assignment, and that is not listed on here. Like what is now our justification, our scale to pay on assignment individuals?
There's a separate attachment if you're speaking of principals on special assignment. The principals that are on special assignment is clearly indicated on that next attachment, who they are. They are placed on the salary schedule according to their experience.
So I understand that. My question is, their title is now principal on assignment. So how do we remedy like the title we have with what the salary schedule that we're about to approve?
They're still principals at the end of the day, which is why we didn't create a separate column for those. And then they're, depending on what level they are at, their salary is still going to be commensurate with their peers. So they would still be a principal at the elementary level being paid accordingly, whether they're on special assignment or not.
Can I chime in?
Good. Are you asking why we don't have a line that says principal and special assignment?
Correct.
Is that what you're asking?
I think that's my question. Then the follow-up to that would be, how does that impact our budget if we've only budgeted for a certain amount of principals based on our schools when we have, I think we have 2 so far that aren't actually serving as principals themselves. So I think it's more of a complex question for me.
Yeah, this predates Dr. Davis. Last year in the spring, when we were making appointments and transitioning to this year, I decided that instead of having principal reductions or some reassignments, that we would keep principals in their established pay and keep some of them in certain positions in the district based on some incidents that happened from the year before. In one case, and in other cases, they were moving and going to different schools to do different things, and I just thought because of the way it happened, it was late. I just wanted to be as fair as possible, and I did not, can't remember if I talked to the treasurer about that, but about the budget and make implications of that.
Can I chime in on?
Yep.
So on one of these that says principal on special assignment, as a board on May 20th, we approved something different than what is listed on here. So I'm just trying to figure out where did the change come from?
So on May 20th, what did you approve?
We approved assistant principal instead of principal on special assignment.
Got you for the opponent's principal.
18 years
Correct.
of experience. 18 years of experience? Oh, some of these, okay. I don't think these are accurate, because even the one that Mr. Walker is speaking of, do we have a record of them being, or what we approved in that role as assistant principal at a high school?
And can I add on to that? The years that they're getting credited for, is this DPS years or if they worked anywhere else in that role? Okay, So if they worked anywhere else in that role, then that's what that is getting credited for. Okay, my second part of that is, if they were a high school principal somewhere else, are we crediting them for a high school principal, or if they just were a principal in general?
Was that more of a policy thing that we needed to establish?
I don't know if it's a policy. Maybe it's for us an HR regulation.
Because we have separate levels for elementary, middle, and high school, and then we also have separate levels for assistant principal and principal. If they served in an assistant principal role and they're currently a principal now, they're not getting credit for the assistant principalship. They're only getting credit for being a principal. If they served as an elementary principal and they're now a high school principal, again, because we have different levels for elementary, middle, and high, they're only getting credit for the role that they're currently in.
Okay, so one individual says 18 years, the high school level, and has never worked.
Never worked in a high
Never
school.
worked in the high school.
That was because we could not do the, we were trying to make that a lead principal. Because we could not do the lead principal role for that, I was asked to create a separate column. That's why it has the asterisk on it, to detonate that there's something different for that individual.
And I asked HR to do that.
So I'm gonna ask to pull that one for a separate vote.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a couple other. So,
for me,
maybe you or maybe Dr. Lawrence, because there was a difference between the structure at Belmont for their 7 through 12 and Stivers 7 through 12. How does that affect people who were in those spaces? So I'm looking at someone who was at Belmont as initially a principal of the middle school, and now has moved over as a title to assistant principal. And so therefore they're at step 1, but that likely went up, correct?
Yes, that went up.
Now, the flip side, what happens to the current principal who is now a middle school principal, but technically served in that role at Stivers, but because of the way it was titled as assistant principal, so she still gets no years of doing that role at Stivers, correct?
You mean the one who's currently at Stivers now?
At Waldman.
Oh, at Waldman. I got you. She does not get any years for being a principal there because they were not the same.
Right.
They
That's
should
what I'm
have
saying,
been.
Because if it would have been Belmont, she would have had.
Oh, she would have got the principal years. But she
Principal,
went to,
because she was technically over the middle school levels there.
So that's so we can go back and say, from a structural standpoint, since that could have been equal, the number of years that she was principal at Belmont, match that up with Stivers and give that principal credit for that. If we keep those two buildings the same, because that was my reasoning for changing them back, because they weren't the same. So now they're both the same. We can go back to that and we can make an adjustment. I see exactly what you're saying.
So
that she technically was the middle school principal there. Yeah.
So is it possible for us as a board to, I want to say, vote on the salary schedule, but save this part of the principals until the November meeting?
I think this.
Yeah.
I agree. I think this one needs more work.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Because I think even going through there, looking and matching those things, the way people have moved.
Well, I even say on that one
Go
too.
ahead.
I was saying I see some individuals. I didn't hear, and I asked Dr. Bailey to make sure I didn't miss it. How are we counting experience? Is it period in your professional career?
Correct.
Or is it?
It is the experience that you've had in
In
the
that
current
role.
position that you
Okay.
are, whether it was with DPS or elsewhere.
Okay, so
if you-
everywhere. Okay.
So we would like to, yes, let's vote on the schedule, and then you have this in front
Correct,
of you
and
now.
it was
can
taken
send
off
us
of all their
questions,
resumes.
and then we can also, in the meantime, write down or give you the written set of regulations in which how we came to these conclusions.
I'd like to make a motion to table the principal and AP placements.
I'll second.
Well, I do have a question in there.
Okay.
That's cool.
Is that because it's not
It's on the same thing.
Right, it's within that Oh, no.
It's on the same, like it's in the same section, so that's why I'm just gonna table it.
All right, I'm for that.
Okay.
Any questions?
I do have another question.
All right.
On the DSS side, will this be the same case?
No. It would not be the same case on the DSS side. We asked for resumes from everyone from a universal perspective. We just wanted to do that. Actually, it made good sense to have a resume for every professional staff member in the district. But on their side, the scale is how they're paid.
Okay. Now, my question would be, if there's someone in a position, and whether admin or DSS, hey, I was in this position and I was classified as this, my role, my title changed, but my duties are the same.
My title changed. My duties are the same. We're speaking of transportation.
No, just as,
Oh,
in general, because there's like some roles that like change. For instance, even with life coaches, they were males of color, females of color, now they're life coaches. So are we, if the title of their position changed, but their job description, job duties are all the same, do they still get credit for that, or do they? Yeah,
I got you.
Maybe we need a structure.
They don't get credit. Yes, they would get credit for that if the job is the same.
Okay.
But most of the DSSs, I'm going to use transportation for example, because our logistics specialists, title change, but it's not going to be a change on the DSS scale, if that makes sense.
Okay. And then even on, there's some admin positions where the title changed, but the positions are the same.
Yeah.
So it will just be, if the position stayed the same and it just was titled, there'll be a credit for those years prior.
Yes.
Okay, I'm good with that.
I do have another question though.
Okay.
If we're voting on the salary schedule, but we're voting now, if we are proposing a vote to table the placement piece, Madam Treasurer, and then maybe it might go to Chief Davis, how does this affect the principal and AP pay if we have not voted on the placement piece for it?
It stays the same.
We're not going to start to
frozen.
pay.
It doesn't.
We
because
are
they have
not
not
going-
changed their pay. They're getting paid
So
what they were making
They would
last year.
continue to get their current pay that they're getting.
Correct.
And so until they wouldn't get it, but it would still be applied retroactively.
Yes,
It's treasurer, yes.
yes.
Okay. All right. Any other questions?
More of a comment. Just speaking with Madam Treasurer here on the side as well, and Dr. Bailey, I do think we need to kick to the policy committee to, like, even the things that all you guys are saying, to get some parameters around kind of how you count stuff and things like that, just so we know ourselves too. And since seems like most of them are in the room right now who's on policy. That way, that piece can just clear it up for us as a group to look at and all that.
So we'll bring the parameters to policy and then get feedback.
Yes, I think we started working on one of these. We just haven't pulled it out yet. So,
Okay.
But yeah, that piece right there, that way we can get some thoughts. And board members on the dais, if you guys have thoughts about those parameters, please just kick it over to any member of the policy committee to take it in there before it comes back to us.
I would ask, is there a way for policy to move up their meeting?
They sure can.
Yep, we can. We sure
well,
can.
It's before the next meeting, so.
All right.
But you can
Yeah,
do
but
it first.
we should probably meet first and then come back and clean it
Yeah,
up to the regular.
I'm saying we could do a first and second simultaneous reading too when it
we'll
comes,
get there.
but that group, yeah.
Any other comments from the board?
I do have one. Not to say I don't enjoy getting phone calls from our district employees, but is there a way, Madam Treasurer, not sure if you can estimate when retro pay will take effect for these individuals with this new scale?
No, I can't do that because the auditors will get that table approved. I am required to pay according to the approved pay table.
Don't want to make no promise you can't keep. Right?
Correct.
I just wanted to, just so that instead of getting phone calls or emails about it, I don't know just like you don't know.
All right, I had a couple more questions.
You gotta say, I don't work here.
That is it.
Okay, couple more
Appreciate
questions. One, I still see, and this is just a quick follow-up for our knowledge since we talked about it here. Stivers is still without one assistant principal, is that correct? I'm guessing that That individual did not do
Oh,
what
that's
we hoped.
right. Nara's still on here as a dean.
It's on here as a dean. So they have
Yes.
one principal, one assistant principal, and a dean.
Mhm.
Is that sufficient for Stivers?
At this time, yes.
Right, that's a,
At this time.
okay. Second question, will we see this same breakdown for all the administrators as well?
Well, I asked about DSS. I didn't.
Yeah, it was DSS
yeah, I
for him.
didn't touch
I'm
on it.
asking for the other. But thank you, appreciate it. And can we get it for the DSS too, just to reiterate what Brother Walker said?
Dr. Goodwine, we held a meeting with all the Stivers, Ponance, and Belmont, all the large high schools, to talk about their structures for this year and next year. So I just want to reiterate, we're working on it, and at this time, that's the recommendation.
I mean, that's great. I do hope in the future, though, that we do not move with, like, I was hopeful that that individual would move forward and what the predictions were. But if it's an assistant principal, then we have to have a person that's assistant principal in the role. So that's all. That's my only statement on it.
All right.
Any other questions?
So the first one we're voting on is the motion to table.
Yes. So I'm gonna ask with that, not only that, but we are also asking our policy committee to get together. If you have any questions, board members, please reach out.
I have one more. Just one more.
Like Al Hamdani?
Hey,
One more
hey,
question.
hey, now I'm gonna do what you should have done at that meeting. I will say though, I do want to thank everybody who worked on this process, because I know this was and it continues to be a huge task. So thank you, Dr. Lawrence, Madam Treasurer, Dr. Jones, Dr. Davis. Lisa Minor, I don't know if you was involved, but you in the room, so thank you too. I appreciate all of you guys for really, I think we're closer to the finish line, and I know we're gonna get this done before this year is up. So thank you all for really continuing to push this farther. Because this has been, Dr. Lawrence can attest that we've been talking about this for 2 years.
Yes, years.
So thank you all again, and yeah, that's it.
All right. Play my tapes. I don't get numbered on. All right, any other questions? Seeing none, maybe have a vote on the table.
President Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Wick,
Yes.
Dr. Goodwin,
Yes.
Dr. Bailey,
Yes.
Mr. Walker,
Yes.
Mr. Lacy,
Yes.
Ms. Ryan. Ms.
I was-
Reinhardt is not here.
Correct.
I was caught off guard because usually Joe goes before me.
Yeah.
Just switching it
Okay,
up on
6 yeses.
you. All right, now back to the scale. Are there any further questions on that? Seeing none, maybe have a vote on the salary schedule.
President Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Wick,
Yes.
Dr. Goodwin,
Yes.
Dr. Bailey,
Yes.
Mr. Lacy,
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
6 yeses.
All right, Dr. Lawrence.
That concludes my recommendations.
All right. Moving through, Dr. Goodwine.
Yes. In so much as the Board of Education is committed to the continuing updating of its policies, rules, and regulations, Manual and the committee, which was appointed, has been working towards the goals. The following is brought for the second reading in compliance with Board File. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Dayton City School District, Montgomery County, Ohio, hereby adopts and accepts the following policies that have been codified for inclusion in the Handbook of Policies, Rules, and Regulation. One-time payment policy, GCBG, longevity policy, professional staff positions, payroll process, and attendance bonus for bargaining units. I move that we adopt these policies.
A second.
It's been second. Do we have any questions?
Second. Who seconded it?
Mr. Walker.
Too far.
May we have a vote?
President Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Wick,
Yes.
Dr. Goodwin,
Yes.
Dr. Bailey,
Yes.
Mr. Lacy,
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
6 yeses.
Okay. Anything else, Dr. G?
That's it.
All right, Dr. Bailey?
Yeah, just like to say it was great going to the Belmont Dunbar game. We had a really good time in the hospitality suite.
You're
I
welcome.
want to thank Leslie and the crew over there for making the experience wonderful for the Belmont alumni. We had probably about 13, 14 alumni come out from 1980. I ain't gonna say, but some of my football players and cheerleaders. But we had a really good time. Was able to actually meet Kamani, principal of Belmont, and it was great. And I just want to commend them on what they've been doing. The Spirit Shop is very impressive. So I want to thank Dr. Goodwine and her crew. They went in and they had a field day. I made them spend money.
He did. We put up some good numbers.
I made them spend some money. So I just want to give them kudos for that. And that's it for right now. All right, Mr. Walker.
No comments.
Oh, and thank you, Mr. Walker, for your help as well.
Anytime.
Mr. Lacy.
Nothing from me today, thanks.
Ms. Wick.
Good, thank you.
Dr. Jones. Oh, 2 weeks in a row, huh?
The Ascot.
Madam Treasurer.
Nothing for me to.
Oh, 2 weeks in a row.
I mean, this ain't a real meeting.
Mr. Lawrence.
Safe travels to DeKalb County, to board members and our curriculum team who are going down to investigate art pathways in elementary, middle, and high school. And we look forward to seeing all 12 of the unions Friday at 11:30 for a nice lunch and conversation around important topics that we want to solve together. Thanks.
Thank you. I want to say I appreciate everybody and keep the main thing the main thing. And with that, pursuant to section 121.22G2 of the Ohio Revised Code, I move that this board go into executive session. The meeting is being held to consider the appointment and employment of a public employee. Do I have a second?
Second.
Been moved and second. Do we have any questions? Seeing none, may we have a vote?
President Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Wick,
Yes.
Dr. Goodwin,
Yes.
Dr. Bailey,
Yes.
Mr. Lacy,
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
All right.
6 yeses.
Briefly adjourn, please.
Hi, I'm Katie Philpott, Preschool Intervention Specialist at Rosa Parks Early Learning Center. My position is to educate all preschoolers who come through our doors into our classroom and service students on an IEP, Individualized Education Plan, and it's a way that all students can access the curriculum and education. The kids are vibrant and excited every day to come to school, and they're learning literally how to school, and that's so important. DPS has lots of opportunities for growth. They give you ample professional development hours, which you need for your degree to continue on teaching. It's a great place where you're going to meet all kinds of people. You're going to meet every kind of student there is, and there's going to be challenges for sure, but when you handle those challenges and overcome them, you'll feel so proud of yourself. I enjoy the people I work with. They are some of the best human beings you will find on this planet. I enjoy how there is a preschool program for families who want access to that. That's very important to the K-12 curriculum. It's a great place to be, and if you look around the buildings, you will see active learning, you will see bulletin boards with the learning on it, so you know that there are great things happening in the classrooms. Every child who enters our classroom feels that their learning is important and that they are valued and they are important. So being the one to do that is like a warm, fuzzy hug.
Side is right next to them. DB's right here next to them. Hey, everybody understand that? Let's go. Get to work. Get to work. Hey, get a break. Hey, hard work on three. Hard work on me. Hard work on three. 1, 2, 3. Hard.
y'all to hear this.
What time is it? 3, 2, 1.
So the Liddy Summer Camp program is all about STEM-based projects and different modulars. So the kids are faced with different scientific challenges and different topics, focusing on the engineering design program and the scientific method.
3, 2, 1.
It's not like regular school, so that's what makes it engaging. The challenges that the kids have throughout the different modules also make it engaging as well. But it's more so, I'm coming, learning throughout the summer, but I'm having fun throughout the summer as well.
I really like that they let you use your creativity and they kind of make you feel special. They let you kind of do your own thing. They give you instructions, but they let you mostly follow your own path. I like that they give us challenges that I'm able to handle, and I really love designing things.
Mr. C's presentation is good like always. I saw him at the Victoria Theater and his was good too, so he's just doing the same things, and I like his things. I like to see it every time they come here. It's good.
I like that it's fun. You learn a lot of stuff like science, math, reading, and like the science experiment we just did, it was really cool.
Parents or others may think, oh, it's summertime, so learning stops. Learning never stops. So as they continue to come to the program, you know, it's just enriching them and inspiring them to want to be inventors and inspiring them to continue to work with others and collab with others. So I do think that this program should continue to be going. That's why this is my 3rd year coming, because again, I'm having fun too with it.
Today is just an example of what the conclusion looks like. The beginning of the journey in Dayton Public Schools starts in preschool, and we can take you from preschool all the way to this space here. This is a wonderful place to have your kids have confidence and faith in us that when it ends, it'll end with a positive note, like what you see on signing day with kids going on to do some great things. Purpose is to create energy and excitement around what kids are going to do next, to acknowledge whether or not they're going to be entrepreneurs, military, college, or if it's just going to go straight into the workforce. So it's to acknowledge that, hey, my time has come and I want to tell the world what I'm going to do. And to see kids signing to say this is where I'm going to finish the rest of my life, or these are my goals, it's really important for us to come together and rally around kids.
I see it as a big achievement and a celebratory thing for us seniors because, you know, it's the turning point into what we're about to go to next in life. So having that being celebrated for us is just definitely a great experience, and I love that for us.
5 of our 7 high schools are new principals. So they get a chance to talk about how important it is to have their first graduating class. As a former high school principal, there's nothing better than graduation. And now my first year as a superintendent, it's going to be really fun to have 7 graduations where you get a chance to say, welcome to the world. This was not your last stop. This is just the beginning. We're still a phone call, email, and text away as you go throughout your adult life. I'm from Dayton, Dayton kid. I'm here as a superintendent, so we're here for you for a lifetime.
So today we're having an all-city arts festival, and we have lots of music today. We have combined all of our schools together to make music performances all day today. We have choirs, we have bands, we have orchestras, and we're all here to celebrate music in Dayton Public Schools. A lot of these students come from schools where maybe their ensemble, their band, or their choir is really, really small. And so it's scary to come out and perform in front of people anyway. And especially when you're used to just a little small group in your classroom, but they've been doing a great job. I think it's a great experience for them because we all know as adults that we have to go and do some things that maybe aren't in our comfort zones, but with this group of people, their peers, they feel a little bit safer. And hopefully after this experience, it'll kind of feed a fire and they'll want to do it more and more.
Really, music can tap into that creativity that a lot of kids just naturally have, but seems to dissipate often as they get older. So we're tapping into that creativity, giving them that self-expression. So for a lot of our kids, this is their first opportunity to get up in front of people, especially in a venue this big, seeing that big smiles on their faces, especially at the end when they're coming off the stage, the excitement. And you know, this is a good opportunity for them to perform and show off for their families, their teachers, their classmates, and greater Dayton community. I think Dayton Public Schools has a huge amount of talent in our district, and we're happy to be here showing that off today.
Hi everyone, today I'm going to talk to you about bus safety. Every day, thousands of Dayton Public School students ride the bus to and from school, and it's important to know how to stay safe. First things first, make sure to get to your bus stop at least 10 minutes early, and while you're waiting, stand in a safe spot away from the road. Once the bus arrives, go straight to your seat so the bus can start moving again. And remember, while you're on the bus, stay seated and keep the aisles and exits clear. Just like in a classroom, listen to the driver and follow their instructions. This includes no foul language, no sticking your arms or head out the windows, and no eating or drinking on the bus. Lastly, make sure you only get off the bus at your assigned stop and be sure to walk home safely. Let's all work together to follow these rules and keep our bus rides safe for everyone. Thanks for listening, and stay safe, DPS.
Hi, I'm Kristen, and this is Jay. We are from Wave Foundation. We're housed at Newport Aquarium, and we're here with our African penguin friend, Randy, today. And we came out to the school to teach the kids about African penguins and different animals that are endangered and how we can take care of them.
That's a wrap on the 2023-2024 school year. Family and friends gathered at UD Arena to congratulate Dayton Public Schools seniors, class of 2024. Graduates were filled with huge smiles and cheers as they celebrated this exciting achievement. Remember, seniors, you'll always have a home here in DPS. Best of luck to the class of 2024. Students all across the district this year have done amazing things. We had students competing in state, national, and even international competitions. Our students are being recognized for so many things, and we couldn't be any more proud. This is why we choose DPS. The district's podcast, DPS The Next Level, is officially award-winning. The podcast won the Best of the Best podcast for all of Ohio by the Ohio School Public Relations Association. And it doesn't stop there. The district's Public Information Office also won several more awards, including Best of the Best Video and 8 Mark of Distinction awards. I'm Demaya Woodall. Enjoy your summer and be safe. We'll catch you next year here on In Case You Missed It.
My name is Brandon Stuhlemer, and I am the automotive instructor here at Ponitz. The In It to Win It event is a event designed to reward students for perfect attendance or honor roll. Voss Auto Network donates a car, and the students in my pathway refurbish the car to get it into a good condition, and then it is raffled off at the end of the year. We also have other people and sponsors who donate gifts for the In It to Win It event, such as iPads, TVs, gift cards, and other smaller prizes. First year I was kind of nervous about the event because I was like, am I doing enough for the students because of all their hard work? And you know, it's good to see the students who have put in the hard work win prizes such as the car and the other prizes. So I'm happy as an instructor and as a teacher in the building to see these students, whether they're my students or not, win some prizes. Today we went through 3 students who got to try their key and it did not work. And the 4th student, she was able to win the car, and it was awesome to see her reaction. So I look forward to seeing the good things she does this year and then next year, and then as she moves into college and stuff. So
My name is Tori Hugie. I am a junior and I'm in cosmetology. When the girl before me went, and I thought it was gonna be hers automatically, and it did not work. I was just like, this can't be real, it's not. And then when I went in there and it actually started, and I was just like, I'm actually happy I won a car, because I mean, who wouldn't be happy with a car? But I'm only 17, I got my first car. I'm very proud of that. And hard work, it comes a long way, because all it took was good grades and perfect attendance, and I got a car. So just being at school, being here, getting your education, teaching, and just getting all the stuff that you need to learn before you get out and graduate and stuff is very important. And then, hey, you get good stuff and things, so hey.
Today's event is to give our fourth graders an opportunity to visit different vehicles and learn what those vehicles' operations are and what the actual driver does on a day-to-day basis. It's important to expose them of different opportunities and careers at an early age so they can start thinking about these employment opportunities and things like that as they get older. Right now we have the Dayton Police Department, the Fire Department, we have the Bomb Squad, we have the SWAT team here, Rumpke, we have some of our operation team here, the AES is here as well. You know, we got a little bit of everything from a little bit of different variety of opportunities. So I just really appreciate everybody taking time out of their day to be a part of this event.
Hi, my name is Doug and this is Aragon. Aragon is a red-tailed hawk you can see by his tail and the belly band on the chest. He represents our wild places at Five Rivers Metro Parks. We have 16,500 acres of land and multiple facilities. These parks are wonderful for hiking and fishing, backpacking experiences, and just a chance to see beautiful gardens or to learn skills like gardening and boating, and they're a lot of fun. We really want parents and all of our community members to know how to access information on our park programs and special events. And if you use our webpage, you can sign up for electronic newsletters that come directly to your inbox. We also put out Parkways that comes out twice a year, and that's a magazine that's mailed to every household in Montgomery County. So whatever you do that come out and see the wildlife and also enjoy the parks, it helps us be healthy individuals when we're outside, enjoying the fresh air and using our bodies to get some good exercise. And it's part of our healthy, active community. So come and join us and have a lot of fun.
Hello, I'm Demaya Wada in the Media Arts program, and today I'm interviewing the student spotlight, Gerard Miller. Gerard Miller is a rising junior with a media arts pathway at Ponit CTC. Gerard jumped right into the pathway as a sophomore, working live sports productions and other events for the district, hosting In Case You Missed It, and with his project partner Malachi Dumas, garnered national recognition for a public service announcement about drunk driving. Gerard drums for the Belmont Drill Team, is an 11-year member of the Dayton Boys and Girls Club, and won second place in their Youth of the Year competition this year. Let's catch up with Gerard Miller. So, tell us about yourself.
Hi, I'm Gerard Miller. I go to David H. Ponit, and I'm in the Media Arts program.
What are some experience you gained while being in Media Arts?
Well, talking to like the superintendent and just like being around my friends while we're doing cameras, and just it was kind of fun, but it's challenging at the same time.
What kind of opportunities has this program provided you?
Well, working alongside the Public Information Office, and really just like working with their cameras and getting experience from professionals.
Tell us about working in the live sports broadcasting.
Working in the live sports broadcasting is fun, but everything moves fast. Like, you gotta know what the right shot is. You have to watch your surroundings. You gotta make sure you get the good play. So it's challenging, but it's fun at the same time.
Have you always been interested in doing that?
No, I never thought about it. I literally never thought about doing cameras at all. It just came to me.
Outside of school, what do you do?
I band for Belmont, and I've been banding there for 3 years now, I think. And yeah, I'm going to pursue it for college, so that's why I stay in the band, so I can do it in college.
What instruments do you play?
Percussion. I used to play trumpet, but That's a lot. So I play drums, bass, tenor, quad, cymbal.
What initially got you into joining band?
So I was walking the hallway, then the band teacher asked me that I want to join the band. And at first, I did not know anything really about music. So I had said no, but then he invited me in his room and said, just look around. And I seen some of the stuff that I liked since I know about drums, and it really caught my eye, so I joined.
What do you like about playing the drums?
It's a way to express my emotions, not emotions, but necessarily like, this is what helped me calm down, and it's really just like a family over there.
Are you a part of any clubs?
Yes, I'm the Keystone president for the Dayton Boys and Girls Club. So basically what we do is, we like student council, but a little bit more like easier and calmer. So basically just make a whole bunch of decisions for the kids and the teens.
What sort of decisions do you have to make?
Like, so it's a summer program coming up. So basically, me being in media arts, we have a media team coming in, and basically they just ask, why should we do this? And so basically we want to get our message out to the people.
We've seen that you won a couple scholarships this year. Tell us about that.
So one of the scholarships I won was a $2,000 scholarship to any college I choose. And how I got it was running for Youth of the Year. And then we basically just use our voice and what we thought was a big problem in the world or in our community. I say it took me about like 3 months to really get what I wanted to put down. So we had a competition, and then that's how I won a scholarship.
How did it feel when you were informed you were chosen for Student Spotlight?
I was surprised because it's my first year opponent, so I didn't think that like anybody noticed me or even knew about me.
Do you have a message for your class?
Yes, I would say just stay, work, and just do what you want to do for you and not for everybody else.
What knowledge will you take into your junior year in the media arts program?
Every opportunity, I'm gonna take advantage of it and not just let anything slip away.
It really is a wonderful event for kids to express themselves in ways that are outside of just being in class. So it's an exciting time in Dayton Public Schools, watching our young people really tell stories about politics, about how they feel, about the world, all types of sides of them that we don't normally see during the school day.
To be honest, I was blown away. It's beautiful coming to my city and seeing the young talent, you know what I mean? It takes a lot to get on stage and to, you know, stand in front of a lot of people, and I know some people rehearsed it and some of them was like reading it live, but you know, it's different when you're in front of people, and they did their thing, so I was excited to be a part of it.
Something that I really liked was that every student's piece, it had some level of impact. It meant something. A lot of it was a personal story.
They all left a piece of them on that stage, and for me, that was big for them being students. They're youth out here expressing themselves. That just made me happy.
We need to use dialogue within our communities, states, and nation to achieve the dream of so many people in the world. A dream of peace and justice that has been put off for too long. A dream that we must keep fighting for together.
We are gathered here tonight to commemorate the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So great of a champion he was to our people and a true king amongst men. But I challenge each of you to take a long, hard look at yourselves and reflect. Then ask yourselves, would he be proud of where we are today?
Anybody who can write and wants to write or wants to be able to express themselves, they should come here. There's no reason, if you have the opportunity, for you not to try.
And after you try, you're gonna get better. So never be afraid to start and try.
That's right.
At Dayton Public Schools, we come together to celebrate the spirits of sportsmanship and community.
However, poor behavior by fans and sometimes athletes have created challenges that impact the safety and enjoyment of these gatherings.
We believe in creating a positive and inclusive environment for everyone, students, families, and fans alike.
Our collective responsibility is to ensure that our athletic events remain safe, enjoyable, and supportive.
To achieve this, we have a few reminders. Respect the game.
Make sure you show respect for the athletes, coaches, and officials.
Remember that these events are about skill, teamwork, and friendly competition. Do not walk on the court or field and remain in the stands and on the sidelines.
Show support
in a positive way.
Celebrate good plays and efforts by the team you're there to support.
Avoid negative chants, cheers, or comments that may create a hostile environment.
Set a positive example. Adults should lead by example for students.
Remember that children are watching, learning, and absorbing your reaction.
Students should lead by example for their peers and for those who look up to them.
Remember that your behavior influences those around you.
Let's come together to support our students in the right way.
Positive energy enhances the entire experience and creates lasting memories for our young athletes.
Join us in fostering an environment where everyone feels welcome, safe, and inspired. Together, let's make our athletic events a source of pride for our entire community.
We are VPS.
If anybody is watching this, you can tell we have some amazingly dynamic, smart, wonderful kids in Dayton Public Schools. Tell me why you're in Dayton Public Schools.
I like going to E.J. Brown because of the staff. I love
like
the
that.
staff.
Yeah, you got a new principal. He is good.
Mm-hmm.
He walks around a lot, checks on you guys. I like him.
I want to be a robotics engineer. I want to take that to college and do great things with it.
How'd you come up with that?
I'm in a pathway called advanced manufacturing, and I'm taking it currently.
So your exposure or your experience in advanced manufacturing got you start thinking about, hey, this is the field I want to go into.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Awesome.
I like going to Belmont because I like the people and I like the teachers and I like the staff and especially like the principal, Miss McDowell.
I want to go to Dayton Public Schools because I feel like every single teacher in Dayton Public Schools are really appreciated of the students that they have and show a lot of love to them.
Mm-hmm.
What I like most about the district is all of the opportunities that they have, such as DPS University, where you can earn college credits while you're still in high school. The staff is really welcoming and they're always pushing you to do your best in whatever you do.
I'm looking forward to getting some of my college credits already out of the way before I go to college. I have a lot of favorite staff members, but the one who I would say influences me the most is most likely Miss Mo, because she just stays on top of everyone and she makes sure that you're doing well and having a good day and stuff like that.
I'm thinking of studying law and becoming a lawyer because I don't really like the laws we have now. So I'd like to maybe change them.
I like it. So you want to be an advocate?
Yes.
DeAndre?
I've thought about being a realtor. I always wanted to
What?
Get rid of that. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, I've never heard a kid say that.
I wanted to get rid of the whole bunch of empty vacant houses around my neighborhood, feel me? It just seemed like a good thing to do because it just make the neighborhood look bad. Even though it's good people around there, it just make my neighborhood look bad.
The whole staff and administration helped me get through my sophomore year all the way to my senior year.
King, I appreciate you sharing that space where you said that you had some adversity, you know, and that this hasn't always been an easy road, and there was a whole family that wrapped their arms around you. I want you to know how much we in Dayton Public Schools are proud of you, first of all, and how much we wish you the best in the future. And we hope that you stay in touch with us so we're able to talk about what a graduate looks like as they move out into the world and do things other than high school.
Hi, my name is Penny Bain. I'm a grandmother of 2 children that attends Ruskin Elementary School. I love things down here at Ruskin because I just feel like it's a loving, caring school. They offer so much. It's the love that they get. It takes a village to raise a child, and this is a village. There's a custodian here, Mr. Body. He gives them like fist bumps, and he makes sure he gives every child one before they enter the school. And then if they're tardy, they go and then they see Miss Love, and she's always giving bear hugs and loves and said, "Now, get on school on time." But my experience with one that I had is my little granddaughter had separation anxiety, and the school helped her tremendously get over that, and like let her know that she is safe. She is, they got a safe place for her, but it's wonderful, like the staff, and they just do so much.
Hi, my name is Tiffany Reeves, and I'm a gifted intervention specialist with Dayton Public Schools. A gifted intervention specialist is a teacher who works with students who are capable of learning at a faster pace than other students their age. I enjoy watching the moment that a student discovers something new or recalls something and makes a connection between something that they've learned that I've taught them. It fills me up with so much joy and happiness, and it's payment within itself. The excitement in their eyes and on their face really says it all. That makes me come to work every day excited for a new experience. As a graduate myself of an all-girls school, it is such a pleasure to work for Charity Adams or at Charity Adams, because I believe that young ladies need a role model, and I've become a role model as well as an advocate for students here, and that is very exciting to me. Dayton Public Schools is a wonderful place to work, and you will get tremendous support here, and you will get a lot of opportunities to make a difference.
So when you first walk in this particular building, what you're gonna see is you're gonna see bright, open spaces, clean floors. When they say it's a new age here within this building, it truly is. The culture here at E.J. Brown is about keeping it consistent, about keeping it simple, keeping it about students. How do we get students from where they are now to where we need them to be? So about being in those hallways, building those relationships, those positive relationships with students, knowing their names, and just building that bond, believing in them. Keep it simple, keep it consistent, keep it all about students. That's why we're here at E.J. Brown.
This year, we have a very strong administration team, and we have very clear expectations, not only for the students, but also for the teachers. So that consistency is really strong this year, and I see that growing as we keep moving forward. I love challenging the students. So I teach science, and for me, it's more about teaching them to think more than like the content. So really getting them to understand what's happening around them, and then be able to use that in situations that they might get into outside of the school. We've been changing the expectations and honing more into academics around the students. And then we've also been bringing in more community pieces. We've had some change over the years, but the last couple years, they've stayed the same, and we're growing more community base.
As a security resource officer here, my main job is student safety. I also am somewhat of a counselor or a mediator to the students. A lot of them come and talk to me, and we try to figure out solutions together to make things better, because if things outside of school are affecting you, then you're not going to be able to get a proper education. I believe that building a relationship with these students is the key to them advancing educationally as well as socially. E.J. Brown is the best middle school because we have the best sports teams, we have the best teachers, we have the best SRO team in the district, we have the best principal in the district. So if you want to be the best, you should come to E.J. Brown.
I think students should go here because it gives them a better mindset. The biggest difference between elementary and middle school is the moving around, but it really wasn't that hard to get used to. The way to be a Bruin is to follow the Bruin B's. Be respectful, be responsible, be safe, and be unstoppable.
Right, what's the address? What's your home address? Do you have a dog?
She has a ring camera. So, Thursday morning. Let me check my schedule. I'll look while we up here. I know you get to see what it's gonna be like when I'm gone. It might be peaceful.
3 weeks.
It might be chaos. It could go either way. Lots of snacks. Where did you guys go?
Superintendent's office.
Cut
Y'all
it
sound
out.
like some kids who went in the principal's office and took some stuff.
Mm-mm.
You say, I hated going to Dr. Lawrence's office. He's never had anything but water.
Trying to give you a message there, man.
That's another observation. You remember that, huh? You're right. That's it. Water.
I could always go to Lauren's office. She got Coke or something.
All right, let's get back. Let's get this
You're
going.
Absolutely right. Yeah, let's go.
Let the record show that the Board of Education of the Dayton City School District has just completed an executive session during which it considered the appointment and employment of a public employee. Do I have a second to return to our special meeting?
Second.
Been second twice.
Moved. Second.
Do we have any questions? Seeing none, may we have a vote?
President Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Wick,
Yes.
Dr. Goodwin,
Yes. I got my water up there.
Dr. Bailey,
Yes.
Mr. Lacy,
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
6 yeses.
All right, can we go to, B, well, it would be B or A, however we want to do it. The two items, well. A3 and A4. A3 and A4.
Before we do that, can I put a motion on the floor, please?
Go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion that the board waives its GCAB probation policy for this one vote.
Second.
It's a policy.
CGAB probation.
Any questions? Seeing none, may we have a vote?
You Goodwin
And Wick.
okay. President Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Wick,
Yes.
Dr. Goodwin,
Yes.
Dr. Bailey,
Yes.
Mr. Lacy,
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
No.
5 yeses, 1 no.
All right. Now, we're back to A3 and A4.
Can I take A4 separate?
All right, we'll do A3 first. Any other questions? Seeing none, may we have a vote?
President Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Wick,
Yes.
Dr. Goodwin,
Yes.
Dr. Bailey,
Yes.
Mr. Lacy,
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
6 yeses.
All right, any questions on A4?
No question, just comments.
All right.
I just want to say that to the DPS employees who have expressed concerns about this position, I apologize to you that as a district, we continue to move like this, and as a board, clearly we just waived the policy that was put in place to prevent actions like this. But hopefully, at some point, colleagues will listen, your superiors will listen, and hopefully it gets better at some point. Sorry that that's not today. And I sincerely apologize to you for the way that you've been treated with regards to this, as well as other actions that have taken place. Thank you, President Smith.
Any other questions?
I have a comment.
Okay.
I would like people to know that the board at any time can waive any of its policies. And yeah, I mean, as people continue to do and show what they need to do to make this district move in the direction that this board is trying to see, we are going to continue to support those actions. Thank you.
This wasn't a support.
I'm sorry. Were you in my comments?
You were done.
No,
You said thank you.
Excuse me.
Just because you like somebody today.
Excuse me. Mr. Walker, Dr. Goodwin.
I'm good. That's it. Thank you.
All right, any other comments, questions? Seeing none, may we have a vote?
President Smith,
Abstain?
Ms. Wick,
Yes.
Dr. Goodwin,
Yes.
Dr. Bailey,
Yes.
Mr. Lacy,
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
No.
All right, thank you. Motion carries.
4 yeses, 1 abstain, and 1 no.
All right, does that conclude our business? think so.
Yes,
Motion
sir.
to adjourn.
Second.
Well, I got one thing to say. All right, yes, sir.
I want to thank Miss Kidd also for all that she did. Please charge it to my mind and not my heart, but she was a great help as well. So thank you very much, Miss Kidd.
He says since it was a Belmont event and you went to a school that no longer exists,
I was traumatized.
you kind of disappeared to him his mind.
We should have won.
I'm sorry. May I have a vote to adjourn?
Who motion?
We already did. Oh, Mr. Walker, and then I seconded.
Let's say we have a vote.
Oh.
Vote.
Well, she asked who did it.
Oh. Dr. Goodwin?
President Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Wick,
Yes.
Dr. Goodwin,
Yes.
Dr. Bailey,
Yes.
Mr. Lacy,
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
6 yeses.